Hey, it's MK and I am back with another Baby Got Scraps pocket page for you guys today, and I am working with a couple of those tickets that I got from the Tim Holtz book that I pulled out yesterday, but I don't think I actually used any of them. I also have the leftover scraps from yesterday just in case I need them as well. I have a few bits and pieces that are left over from a previous layout. I can't remember if it was yesterday's layout or a couple, like one last week. This is that bag of goodies that I only pulled the wood grain out of yesterday. I didn't even open it up, but today I'm going to pull it out and use up some of the elements that are located in this little baggie. I'm super stoked. I have scraps from, I think that's Rusty Pickle, in all honesty, you guys. Wow. I have another scrap from mixed media class that I did. So lots of scraps, you guys. More mixed media papers, some garbage. This beautiful copper paper. I can't throw any of that away because it's beautiful. I already said it was beautiful. Yep. Some paper phenomenon scraps, some more scraps left over from the bottom of a tag, some Minte cut apart cards, or not cards, but papers that I cut apart for embellishments, 49 and Market scraps, some punched out leaves that are left over from gosh knows where. I mean, you guys, seriously, it's just a menagerie of stuff. This is not just for boys, but I'm not doing nighttime, so I won't use those. And honestly, when I'm showing you guys all of this, I'm picking and choosing what I might use on these layouts or these pocket pages. I've got a good size of green scrap there that might help me make something out of this. So what I have, oh my gosh, what I've got is I've got two different pocket pages, and they're two different events. But because I just have one 4x6 on one pocket and a double-sided 4x6 on another pocket, I decided to join these two pockets. One of them is from 2012 and the other one is from 2014. But it does show how much we love and enjoy actually still doing this. I've got several photos of us we get in the trucks and we drive. We just go places. Sometimes we look up where we're going to go first. An old mine site or something like that. We just look it up and see where it is that we want to go. Other than that, we call friends, see if they're available to go, stuff like that. All right, so what I'm doing now is I am just taking all of my scrap papers and I am trying to make 5 4x6 cards. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I have one sheet of paper that I'm actually going to be able to make a 4x6, but I do need to do the other side. So I need to cover up the other side and figure out what I'm going to do on those two sides. And then for these vertical 4x6s, I have one paper that I can use both sides of, but I need to figure out about an inch, maybe less, of gap between both of them. So I'm going to use my mixed media paper on one side and then these wood grain branding strips on the other side. And then for my 4x6 horizontal pockets, now I'm just going to decide how I want my scraps to look. So I've got this beautiful copper paper. I apologize for being so far pushed up, but I've got that beautiful copper paper. I know I want to use the green so that way it's cohesive between all three pockets. I love this hexagon map paper. So I want to try to use that up instead of fussy cutting and trying to use each hexagon up because that'll take me forever. I also have a ripped piece of, I think that's 49 and Market. I'm not really sure. But I decided that I'm going to cover up the gap between all of the decisions that I made with this coppery piece. Instead of using that big giant copper piece, I'm going to use the tiny little copper pieces because most of them are going to be covered up with the photos. So it's just going to be a small little sliver of copper that I really need to be seen. So I didn't want to cover up a big giant piece of copper that I have, especially when I can use it elsewhere. So I'm going to take my little strips and cut them in half and use them up. Like I said, the photos are going to cover up the rest of the gaps, so I am a-okay with the stripe not going all the way across. I'm perfectly okay with that. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the scraps and I'm gluing them to my solid piece of 4x6 paper that I have for the other side. And with this piece, I am just going to cut off the jagged edges and then cover up where it was ripped a little bit too much on the inside with that green cardstock that I have. So it actually works out perfect. And then of course, if I have any leftovers or any bits peeking out, I'm going to cover those up with the copper stripes. So that is how I am going to finish off making my actual cards to start decorating with. So in the end, I do end up changing my mind because I want that map paper to be seen more than I want just the grungy taupe, I guess is what color it is. So I do end up switching out the coppery strips and making that bottom card my title card instead of the green solid card in the middle. So I do end up switching out a little bit. So here I'm just filling in the gaps of what I have going on as far as these branding strips. I am gluing them to the back side of that mixed media paper that I created for a class a while ago. And then there's where I switched out the copper strips. I cut out all my photos, glued them all down, saved you guys the process because it's the same. I've been doing it all month long. I trim everything down 1/8 of an inch. So my photos are trimmed down very, very small. Now, the reason why I do that, I've had that asked, like, why do I even bother? Why don't I just glue my photo to photo and put it in the layout? To be honest, I have in the majority, not this, the exception is this whole month because I've been making up 4x6 cards or 3x4 cards as I go. So they are on the little bit of thicker side, but the majority of my pocket pages, it's just one single cardstock. And the single cardstock is X amount thick, right? If you cut your photos down to 1/8 of an inch and glue them back to back on that one single photo, and then you stick it into that pocket, the bulk is 1/16 of an inch away from the edge. All you have up against the edge is one single piece of paper. And so I feel like my paper or my photos stay in the pocket better. They don't tend to pop out if I do that or when I do that. Now, these ones are the exception because I've been gluing paper to paper and bulking up those pockets a little bit more than usual because I'm working with scraps. I'm building my 4x6 card out of several pieces of paper. So in the center of, say, my husband's truck photo up there, in the center of that photo is really bulky because I not only have the taupe paper and the green paper coming in the middle, but now I added that copper little strip to cover up the seam. And so it's slightly bulkier than I normally do, but that is the gist of it. That's the reason why I do that, is because then I have a nice card, and the card goes from edge to edge in the pocket, but the photos don't. So it kind of leaves a gradual thinness going to the pocket, and it just seems to rest in the pockets a lot better than normal. These ones here, I have been using paper clips and things like that to keep them in the pockets because yes, they are a little more on the bulkier side than what I normally do for my pocket cards. So anyways, I thought I would explain that to you guys while I am just putting up a whole bunch of stuff. You guys, these are all leftovers. Absolute leftovers from projects in all last year, a couple this year, all that stuff. These stickers that I'm playing with, they're Simple Stories stickers. That was the last bits, I mean microscopically last bits I had of a sticker sheet. I cut them apart. And cutting them apart was actually very good because then I didn't see the sticker sheet as a whole anymore. I saw the individual elements and I was able to see them side by side with other elements. Whereas on a sticker sheet, I saw the sticker sheet as a whole. And it was harder for me to imagine what that mushroom was going to look like next to, you know, all these other pieces, or what that butterfly is going to look next to, all that kind of stuff, you guys. So I definitely enjoyed cutting up the last little bits that I had from this sticker sheet and mixing it up with a whole bunch of other stuff because now they're used. At first I was going to get rid of that sticker sheet. I was like, oh, there's nothing else usable on that sticker sheet. Well, here it is. Last 4 pieces going on this layout right here. Yay! I am so excited. Can you hear it in my voice? Yeah. That just didn't even sound exciting. So the last thing that I have to decorate is this very blank, very green card. Yeah, it's not, I'm not feeling it at all. I was just noticing how many polka dots were all over this this particular, oh, what is it called? Thicker sheet. I didn't even notice all of those polka dots until I started using up all the words that were on the thicker sheet to begin with. So for this little card right here, like I said, these two pieces of page protectors are not going to be in the same exact album at all. This one that I'm working on now that is going to say See the World is going in a 2012 album, and then the one on the right that is 4x6, that is going in a 2014 album. I do have a question for you guys. So when I finish this month out, do you guys want to see a flip through of all of the pages that I have accomplished and what they kind of look like? Well, for one, they're still in the album that I made for a retreat. So I put together all of the pocket pages throughout the years that need to be completed in order for my albums to be finished. Okay, I started the month off saying that. And what I've been doing is putting them back in that same exact album, and then I will go back through and put them in their respective albums, in their spots, right? So I've got little sticky notes telling me that this goes here, that goes there, and all that stuff. So I've kept them in order, and then of course all the albums have little tags on them too that say, hey, this is, did I say sticky notes? There's no sticky notes. It's ripped pieces of paper. But anyways, I definitely wanted to know before I put them away, if anybody is interested in a flip through of that album that I put together of all of my random pocket cards. So you guys can get a looky-see of how everything works. So anyways, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I talked about through this whole video, you guys. But here is the title card for my 2012 pocket pages. These are the little tiny embellishments that I made for my 2014. Here's the title card. I'm still thinking that green is so plain, but it's okay. It probably won't look so plain in the respective album. It's going to be okay. Here's another title card that I kind of sort of did. It's more like a collage-y looking thing. And then, of course, a little decorative element. I'm not really too concerned on whether or not these two matched because they're not going in the same album. I know I've said that over and over and over again. I really didn't talk about the location of where we are because I do have actual 12 by 12 pages of these trips. So I didn't really feel like I needed to say it again of what it is that we were doing or where we were going. I'm not sure if I can remember where those layouts are. That's a lot of videos to be going over, you guys. And to be honest, I'm not really sure when I scrapbooked my 12 by 12 or my 2012 or 2014 albums, in all honesty. All right, you guys. So let me know what you think about that flip through. It won't be a flip through of every single album and where these pocket pages reside in those, because I started out at 2009 and I have till 2000, I believe, 16 in there. So I won't be going through all of my albums. It's just that one album that I put a collage of all of the pocket pages that needed to be finished. I just wanted those all in one spot, so that way when I go to finish them, you know, they're done, and then now I can put them in the album, and oh my gosh, all those albums will be done. Every single one of them. Oh, what a great feeling. So let me know what you guys think about that flip through and whether or not you guys are even interested in something like that. I would love to know because if so, then I will do that on the last day of January just to get it done and over with, because all these pages got done. Oh my gosh, they got done. That's great. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will check y'all later. Bye.